right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for Monday Night Raw following SummerSlam, which some are saying, a lot of people are saying that it is one of the better SummerSlams that we have had in a long time, in quite some time. I personally thought that it was a great weekend of matches. Of course, we were here for both nights. Let me see if I can get this audio where I want it. Yeah, we were here live for both nights, so if you were able to tune in to the live streams, you would have got all of my live reactions, but if you were not, but you did get to see the show, yeah, a lot went down, and I was kind of looking around to see what has been announced for tonight's show, and I didn't see a whole lot. I did see, obviously the big Cass return has been advertised for a couple weeks now, so we do know that Cass is going to be here tonight. The question remains if Enzo Amore is going to be joining him, or if Cass will just be, on his own, or maybe he'll have a manager with him, who knows. Obviously, it'll be weird seeing Cass without Enzo, unless you're used to seeing him in AEW. And then Roman Reigns, I believe, is set to make an appearance. But as far as anything else, I don't really know. I think Oba, there's a very good chance we see Oba tonight. It'll be interesting to see if Oba and Roman potentially, if we want to go ahead and go down that road. If Roman and Oba cross paths here tonight. What else do we have from the Raw side of things? Chad Gable is our new Intercontinental Champion. I don't know if he's been advertised to be here or not, but you would think so, fresh off of his Intercontinental Championship win at SummerSlam. I'm sure we can expect Liv Morgan, our Women's World Champion. Danhausen, fresh off of his Human Money's on a pole match that he won at SummerSlam against Dominic Mysterio. So yeah, I expect Judgment Day to be on the show, and a lot of these I'm just shooting from the hip, because unless there's a lot that I didn't see much on WWE website. I didn't see much being published on any other articles or anywhere online really that had things officially announced. I guess I could have looked over on WWE Twitter, but it didn't look like they had anything on their Raw preview. There was nothing. It showed Roman, and that was about it. But yeah, in any case, I am very much looking forward to this episode of Monday Night Raw, and I hope you all are as well. If you are new to my streams over on Twitch, we are trying to reach affiliate status, so consider hitting that follow. If you are new, we are on the path to affiliate status. I'd like to hit that 25 follower goal, hopefully by, the end of the year, potentially. I think we can easily reach that. And yeah, if you're over on YouTube, consider hitting that subscribe button. We are over 1,100 subs now, on our way to 1,500, potentially 2,000 subs on YouTube, which is unbelievable. Thank you so much for the support that's been shown on these streams, on all my shorts that I upload, and my long form videos. We are working on getting a couple more long form videos out the door soon, but for now we are live at the top of the hour for Monday Night Raw. Let me know in the chat what you are looking forward to here on Raw. what you thought about SummerSlam as a whole. And yeah, we'll get right into this, ladies and gentlemen. I have to get used to, this is where the camera's at. And this, can't really see where I'm pointing. This is where I'm at, chat's at, and everything. So I constantly am looking over here and talking rather than looking here. So this stream, we are focusing here, because this is where, right below, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to show you. I'm trying to get my mic sort of out of the way. Right below my camera is, you know, the actual episode of Raw. So yeah, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Monday Night Raw, first Raw post SummerSlam. And I really hope that WWE capitalizes on the momentum from SummerSlam. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of recaps. I'm sure, you know, there's going to be a lot of filler, but hopefully WWE can continue this momentum, you know, onwards to, I guess the next big PLE coming up is Survivor Series. Rocky, what's up? We've just gotten started here on Raw. Big Cass return is tonight. Yeah, I was kind of talking about all I've really seen advertised tonight is Roman Reigns and Big Cass. So unless there's things that I overlooked or just didn't see reported, Raw's kind of wide open tonight. So let me look up, see if WWE has posted anything. Fallout from Epic SummerSlam. What's next for Women's World Champion Liv Morgan? So she will be here, confirmed. Didn't Big Cass date Mella? Oh, back in NXT? I've heard that was rumored. I don't know if that's... I don't know, actually. So Roman Reigns has been advertised. We knew that. Liv Morgan has been advertised as of an hour ago. And I think that's it. Big Cass, Roman, and now Liv Morgan. That's the big question. That's the big question that everyone's been asking. Is Enzo going to be there with Big Cass? But we'll have to wait and see. As it does look like we're getting started with the Tribal Chief. Roman Reigns is in the building. Presumably making his way to the ring. After one of the all-timers at SummerSlam. If you've been around WWE for a long time and you followed the story of, you know, the Shield days, Seth's betrayal, Bloodline, all of it, it all kind of came to a head, came to a real conclusion at SummerSlam with that Roman Reigns victory. Yeah, there was a lot of respect shown to Jon Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose, last night. You know what to do, chat. I did a little prematurely, but, you know. Yeah, I think Moxley's contract, he's still, I believe he's a champion in AEW, but yeah, I think his contract's still a ways away from expiring, maybe 2027. But we have the OTC in the building. Do we get an Oba Femi appearance here? Do we get... Who else would be? Big Cass. He won't be here. He'll be having his own thing, I'm sure. Maybe an LA Knight. Maybe, you know, a solo following their victory at SummerSlam. A lot of possibilities here for Roman.
An absolutely amazing main event to cap off an incredible weekend in Minnesota that was SummerSlam, punctuated by...
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to push Cass right up to this main event spot. But I think we're going to get a lot of answers here. What's next for Roman? I got my my KO shirt. I know he'll be on SmackDown, not Raw, but you know it's red. So. Thought it'd be good to break out the KO for this episode of Raw.
Presented itself at SummerSlam, and Roman chose the high road. The OTC was hell-bent on showing...
Yeah, and Roman continuing his new pattern of doing it on his own. He didn't need any help from the bloodline. Now, there was, you know, obviously some shenanigans went down, but in the end... Yeah, it's Roman's in a weird spot right now because the only person that's really already at this level with him is Oba. But if we want to throw an LA Knight back into this spotlight, if we want to throw a Solo Sikoa, you know, back into the family drama at the top, we could do that here, potentially. Because I don't think we need a Roman and Oba at, I don't even know, Sunday night's main event or Money in the Bank. I think that's a Royal Rumble at least, but WrestleMania even. Yeah, Braun, I don't know what's going on with Braun. I think Braun is unfortunately a product of all the injuries that has happened with the Vision, and he's kind of just been put into the spot that he's in, but I do think he belongs in this conversation. But you know, being tag team champs with Theory, with Logan Paul still out, Bronson Reed still out, I just don't think he'll be put up in this position. Oh, a couple people not acknowledging. Acknowledging with a different finger.
Well, you know your tribal chief. I'm a man of my word. I call my shot and I deliver. Before I went out to the desert, I said I was going to win the Rumble and I was going to save this place. And that's what I've done. I went to Mania and beat the old man. I owned the whole summer. And last night, I beat Seth frickin' Rollins.
That he did do. That he did do. So what's next, Roman?
And I know in these parts, that stings a little bit.
Yeah, Des Moines. With
That's
Seth being
your
from
boy,
Davenport.
and he is my brother. And I think last night we may have found some peace, but you know the OTC, I can only acknowledge so much, but I don't mind if you guys do.
Roman allowing the crowd to acknowledge Seth. There you go. LA Knight. That was one of the guys on my short list.
Celebration for the tribal chief. I don't believe this is
I mean, he just pinned Jey Uso. Yeah, that was one of the ones.
LA Knight fresh off of a huge six-man tag team
No, he's not.
on SummerSlam Saturday alongside Solo Sikoa and Royce Keys over the bloodline. The champ looks a bit bothered.
Yeah.
And LA Knight completely unbothered. The most defiant superstar on the roster.
Roman can't believe he's out here. Big pop.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Congratulations on your win at SummerSlam. Congratulations on still being the World Heavyweight Champion. And despite the fact that Seth Rollins and myself, I'll eat the crow on this, we both said you couldn't do it by yourself.
He did.
Congratulations on doing it by your damn self. But you're still a fraud.
Oh. How so, Mr. Knight?
I've been calling your name for months. And instead of you answering, you sick the dogs. You put the bloodline between you and me. Why beat all them so I want what you owe me?
Oh.
Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, well, what do I don't owe you anything. What do I owe you? Well, just rewind your mind a little bit. If you remember, last time it was me and you one-on-one. It wasn't so one-on-one. So what I want is what you gave Seth Rollins. I want you, I want me, no bloodline, no outside BS. We can do it here tonight.
Oh.
We can do it next week. We can do it at Money in the Bank. And if you need to wait all the way to WrestleMania, hell, we can wait that long and we can do it then too. But the bottom line is, the only right answer is yeah.
Yeah. All right.
This is what I'm talking about. Fraud. Who the hell are you talking to? Fraud. I only see one fraud. I don't come out here talking about being a megastar and then wear a Walmart watch on my wrist.
Oh.
A megastar. Zoom in. This is what a megastar wears on his wrist. You understand me? Skeleton tourbillon. And this is what I'm talking about. Everybody's running their mouths. What have you done? Oh, you beat my cousins. Oh, man, I'm happy for you. I'm very proud of you. You won a 6-man tag match. What else have you done? There's no validity in anything that you say. You haven't won a tournament. You haven't won a battle royal. You haven't won a big match. Please, let me know, huh? This goes for everybody back there. You don't get a #1 contender shot by bitching and moaning. We ain't gonna just sit here and complain anymore. You might have wasted my cousin's time, but you ain't gonna waste mine. Get in the back of the line.
Ooh. Roman is not interested in giving him a title shot.
Wait, hold on. Just not yet, I got one more thing. But before I get there, first of all, man, your aura, you are so much cooler when you're not standing right in front of me. Because you stand here and you make your little scrunchy faces and you talk about you haven't earned it. Huh? I've earned it time and again, and it took you and 38 people to beat me. What a coincidence that you and Seth were in a group called The Shield, because all you've done is use the numbers, the sneak attacks, to shield you against guys like me. Because Yankee, Oscar, uniform. Sierra, uniform. Charlie, Kilo, you suck. You're a fraud, and you're the biggest vomit in the business. You're on another
I'm trying to figure out what he's
because
spelling.
you hold that championship, but don't get lost in the sauce, brother. You're not on my level, pal. I'm lightning in a bottle. I'm everything you wished you could be, but you couldn't. So I'll tell you what. When you figure out where to buy a pair, if you can't grow one, you come back and let me know, and I'll smack you back to factory settings. Because I know, you know, the whole universe knows the uncrowned champion of this world with everybody saying.
Yeah. All right. LA letting Roman know how he feels and what he wants. And he did say, like, he obviously said, you know, we can do this tonight. We can do this Money in the Bank. We can do this all the way at SummerSlam.
You know, Corey, LA Knight still has a bad taste in his mouth after their first
You're good. So,
night reigns for the
Knight and Reigns at some point. We don't know when.
said last night at SummerSlam.
Roman doesn't think he deserves it.
Shed his obsession with Seth freaking Rollins. Unfortunately for the OTC, doesn't seem like LA Knight is seeing the same therapy. You mentioned earlier, great SummerSlam weekend, including the main event from SummerSlam Saturday. Obafemi, Brock Lesnar locked inside Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that was a good main event as well. I didn't know if
and suffering, torment and anguish. These are the only laws inside hell, in a cell.
Yeah, the cell match. I think they definitely could have utilized the cell a little bit more than they did. It did kind of seem like it was just there for the shock factor and didn't get like fully utilized as much as it could.
Triumphant.
And the spot with the the planks was a little weird as well, because it was unclear whether Oba just missed the spot or he didn't want to actually drop Lesnar on him, and so he called an audible and just, you know, did it next to him or like in front of him the way he did.
Has always respected me.
And the legends will remember.
He knows that I respect him as well.
Once again,
This is the past.
it was the dominion
This is the future.
of Titans.
Yeah, I don't think we'll I mean, we could potentially not see Brock ever again. That could have been it.
Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell. The king of the ring, Oba Femi, joins us live tonight.
The ruler.
First singles championship
And there's Gable. So there you go. Gable is
Intercontinental Champion. Chad
in the building.
will be live on Monday Night Raw. A mixed weekend for the Judgment Day, but
Sol Ruka will be taking on Roxanne Perez.
Perez is in action against the former Intercontinental Champion, Sol Ruka.
And see, like, I don't think any of these were really announced beforehand, so you just gotta tune in. If you want to know what matches are happening, you just have to tune in. Javon Evans, fresh off his victory against Rusev last week.
Introducing first, from Greensburg, North Carolina, weighing in at 195 pounds, Javon Evans.
Going against Ethan Page here tonight. Have they updated the match card, that little banner? Does look like they've slightly updated some things.
Javon Evans set for action here tonight. Big win for Javon last week. The young OG able to solve the riddle that was the Bulgarian.
Yeah, after knocking off Rusev, let's see if
Sounds of things tonight. The good
he can do the same.
are ready to get bouncy.
To all ego.
Javon Evans loves to entertain, but all business when the bell rings. And that's one of the things that's impressed me about Javon lately, Corey, is his newfound aggression. I completely agree with you. As talented as Javon Evans is in the sky, lately we've seen he's always willing to
Yer.
his feet and throw hands. Let Javon do the business, Corey. He asked to be Cole. It's your turn to embarrass yourself. No, here we go.
Yeah, Coley invited him to. There you go.
Can I do better this week? Oh, I'm off key again, but what the hell? Take it easy, young. I just think I threw my back out.
Cole can't get it figured out. Oh, man.
Middleweight World Championship clash between Ireland's Aaron McKenna and Italy's Edinoso Alia will take place at 3 Arena this Saturday, headlining an incredible night of can't-miss fights at Super Boxing 10. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster.id.
All right. Can Javon Evans do the double over Rusev and Ego? I hate that they got rid of that part of the song. Like, I know people like to gripe about, you know, theme songs and Def Rebel themes in particular, but Ethan Page's is one that is really a head scratcher because it's the same song
The nickname, Michael Cole, it's not like
remixed,
shy about that fact.
and they took the best part out of the song,
You would have
the ego.
if you were one of the most complete superstars in the
I just,
game.
like, it just doesn't make sense.
With a brand new Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, like, their themes aren't necessarily bad. I mean, there's some that are, you know, better than others, but
Intercontinental title
Like, this remix makes no sense. We could have just kept his normal music. That's the part that gets me, is like, for having everybody say something at the start of their theme song, or like Bailey's, for example, role model, or Charlotte's bow down to the queen. Like, some of that is just unnecessary. Oh, is Ethan Page's decision? Huh. That's interesting. Is he dropping the all ego kind of narrative? I feel like they still say that on commentary, like, all the time. Yeah, it's still on his shirt and everything. It's weird that he would want that out of it, but I don't know. Ego. I'm still gonna sing it. Should be a good match. I feel like these two are kind of like stuck in a loop with Rusev and Javon and Ethan, and there for a while, Dragon Lee. I feel like everybody was just, cycling that match over and over and over. But yeah, if Sheamus were here, he'd probably be in this mix. Unfortunately. Which I get it. I mean, this is like the core of the mid-card division. Javon Evans and Gable will be good. Gable and Page. Really, Gable and any of the guys in this division one-on-one. I don't know. It's interesting. He could just have his own segment. As much of a disappointment as it could be, if they're not planning on having Enzo, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a vignette or like, just a backstage little segment, kind of like what they did with Blake Monroe. Or he could kind of pull a Baron Corbin and just interfere in a match like this, or something along those lines. Or he could come out the ring and actually cut a proper promo. I really have no idea. Oh! Massive dive to the outside from Javon, making it look easy as he does week in and week out. Javon's really becoming a workhorse. Wonder how many televised matches he's had in 2026. He's probably had one of the most, if not the most, in WWE.
You have to believe, Corey, you're perhaps looking at some future contenders here to the new Intercontinental Champion, Chad Gable.
Exactly.
Later on tonight. No doubt about it. And if I know anything about Chad Gable, it's he expects to be a fighting champion.
Yeah, I have no idea what the plans are. And I don't... Enzo's obviously a big question mark. But it's weird that they've... I wonder if they've intentionally announced Cass and not Enzo just because they wanted people to speculate and draw even more attention to Big Cass returning. I'm interested to see what Obafemi has to say as well. Obviously, he wasn't out there during the Roman promo, so I don't guess he's gonna go for the title right away. Which I think that one, like I said, that's a big title match. That doesn't need to be at a Money in the Bank or a Saturday Night's Main Event. That needs to be at the very least Royal Rumble. But I think we save that. I don't know how we save it that long, but I think we save that all the way until WrestleMania next year. That just like screams Saudi Mania to me. Which I don't know the plans for Roman heading into Saudi Mania. I don't know if, because there's this, like we were talking about a minute ago, we have LA Knight challenging or seemingly going to be a challenger pretty soon. but there's really not a lot of guys already at that top spot that are just, you know, obvious challengers. So people like LA Knight are just gonna have to come out and challenge, or we're gonna have to build some other guys up if Oba's gonna hold off all the way until Mania. Because when Oba gets his title shot, he's winning. Like, that's, I wouldn't say that's like, you know, a very hot take. Like, I think it's pretty obvious the direction for Oba thing.
Oh my goodness! Talk about letting your hands fly. What a forearm from Page. Rocking Evans and then driving him face first into the turnbuckle. Remember what Ethan Page accomplished last week in the matchup against Rey Mysterio. And look at the smile on Page's face. Again, you don't have to be a fan of Ethan Page, but you've got to accept the reality of the situation. This is a talented man. Well, that's how I describe
Yeah, I'm big on Ethan Page.
the guy is abrasive.
I think
But he's a tremendous athlete as he's displaying.
he definitely has an IC title in his future.
If you're not going to sit out here next to me and say nice things about Ethan Page that are deservedly true, then I'll do it. But do you think if he was a bit more humble, it might help him in his career? No, I think if Ethan Page was any more humble, he might not have made it to WWE, and he might not find himself in the hunt for the Intercontinental Championship. And Evans trying to fight back. Oh! Sometimes you got to toot your own horn. Cover! And an air fall as Evans gets the shoulder up. And is Page beginning to get frustrated against this opponent that he knows so well? At this particular juncture, it certainly appears to seem that way, but again,
Yeah, I
has a world of experience to
trying to get my live tweeted out. I forget to. I always forget to do it ahead of stream, and so I'm always scrambling 30 minutes in to get this, get it out there.
But the ability to frustrate his opponents is almost a special power possessed by the young OG Javon Evans. Just when you think you've got him down, just when you think you have Javon where you want him, he changes it all on. Ask Rusev all about that. Des Moines, Iowa, the capital.
They're just kind of going back and forth during commercial break. I was trying to get my. I went ahead and posted over on X that I was live on Twitch and YouTube for Raw. I always forget to get that out before stream, so I went ahead and put that out there. So, in case traffic from X were to make its way over to either Twitch or YouTube. But yeah, appreciate everybody for hanging out. If you're new, consider subscribing, consider following over on Twitch, and just hop in the chat. We're live for Monday Night Raw post SummerSlam. LA Knight seemingly challenging Roman Reigns, although Roman does not seem to be too interested in a challenge from LA Knight. And now we got Javon Evans versus Ethan Page for our first in-ring competition of the night. Oh. As Javon's now in firm control. And he's getting bouncy with it. Page might suffer the same fate as Rusev last week. Oh! Oh, that looked terrible. Is that it? Oh, Javon has to kick it too. That was a rough landing for Javon. That looked brutal.
And then following up with a, I don't even know the name of that. I don't know if I've ever seen that maneuver before. Some sort of cradle side suplex.
What is up, AX2? Thank you for stopping by. We are here for Monday Night Raw. Appreciate you Drop in a chat. What do you think of Raw so far? You just now tuning in, or you've been watching?
Call that a Canadian suplex? I mean,
We got Sol Ruka and Roxanne coming up.
going for the egoplex here. That is his finishing maneuver. And Javon Evans counters.
Javon with the roll up.
Shoulders down. Page
Ooh.
chase out. Oh, Evans able to shift his weight midair. And now Javon
Surely Javon's winning here.
sends Page right outside the ring. But Ethan Page grabbing the ankles of Evans. Look out, Cole.
Oh.
The small of that back right into the corner.
I might have spoke too soon. Well, maybe not.
Now sends Page face first. And now into the post. And Javon Evans is bringing the fight to Page.
Yeah, we're kind of talking like there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of challengers already at that spot. And if we're not going to get straight to Oba and Roman, then I guess LA Knight kind of makes sense just because that 6-man tag. I mean, he did knock off the bloodline and, you know, he's let Roman. Oh my gosh. Javon diving through the barricade, over the barricade. He did kind of make his intentions known that he was coming after Roman. Obviously, I don't think an LA Knight gets over Roman, but I did think LA Knight could be one of the favorites for Money in the Bank. Red dot. So if they don't do Roman and Knight before Money in the Bank, I think he could still very well go on to not only be a participant, but win Money in the Bank. Because I think it's, what, 3 Money in the Banks in a row that LA Knight has been a part of and hasn't won. Which he might be fulfilling that Kofi Kingston role of Money in the Bank performances, but never winning. Oh. Yeah, Paige went for the ropes. And got caught. Oh. Now that could be it. Ooh. Javon again. Yeah, Trick, that's another one. I think Money in the Bank is very interesting this year because I think there are a lot of guys who are kind of in that conversation of they're either, you know, big, kind of bigger stars working their way up to the top, or there's just nothing, you know, there's nothing that's already put them in that top spot. Whereas the Money in the Bank briefcase immediately elevates you. So, Ethan Page again getting caught by the ref. He seemingly hasn't learned his lesson after the second try. Oh my. OG Cutter! Out of nowhere! Jumping over the official. 1, 2, 3. Javon Evans has knocked off Ethan Page with an incredible leap into the OG Cutter. Yeah, I mean, you have Penta, Trick, LA Knight. I mean, I don't know if Javon, I think Javon's going for the IC belt. But, yeah, still no Cass yet. It'll be interesting to see what they do have planned for Cass. Javon. I think we figured out what we're doing with Cass. He's coming out to destroy Javon Evans. I forgot how huge this man was. Laying out Javon. Oh boy. Well,
Evans just went through that
Big Cass is back.
with Ethan Page and now being picked apart by this monster.
I think we figured out
A faraway look in his eyes.
where we're headed with Cass.
Evans by his hair.
Just ragdolling him.
And Big Cass with
Oh my.
river crossing.
That's one way to make your return appearance. So no Enzo. Cass obviously if he was gonna come back as a crowd favorite, that suddenly is no longer the case. As he targets Javon of all people, the beloved Javon Evans.
You want to make an impact going
Cass and Gunther.
popular stars in the game is
I've heard a lot of people saying Cass and Oba. Now that we know Cass is a heel,
number of weeks we've heard about the return of Big Cass and this redemption.
IC title, he could be in that picture. We could be heading to Cass and Oba.
Ladies and gentlemen,
But clearly Cass is here to wreak havoc on Javon Evans and maybe the rest of the IC division.
Knight did at SummerSlam Saturday, involved in a six-man tag team match against the Bloodline.
And you can't teach that.
Royce Keys, LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa joining forces to battle the Usos and the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu. The action was off the charts on SummerSlam Saturday. And in the closing moments, Solo would obtain a measure of revenge against his big brothers, opening the door for a thunderous BFP from the megastar and a massive win to get past the Bloodline.
I'm pretty sure I said still no Big Cass right before he came out.
But I have a standard.
Yeah, that is true. Like,
You know this. It doesn't
Hold
work
that thought.
if we lose. We're a family. A six-man tag. We have the advantage automatically. And you lose to your little brother. Matter of fact, where is Solo? Where is he? He should be on my hip right now. Coffee, go get it, Solo. That should be it. And LA Knight, this is crazy. This fool coming out here calling me a fraud, disrespecting me, and Royce Keys. Royce Keys, whatever his stupid name is. Why do I keep hearing that he's your family? Jacob, are you my family? Yeah, right? Royce Keys isn't my family. He's not your family, right? He's not related to you, is he? Therefore, he's just one of the boys. Don't let these circus folks confuse you. This is it. We're the only bloodline here. This is all we have. Trust no one.
Hey, Oos, just say the word, we'll go get LA Knight.
No. No word. No play. Shut it down.
y'all had your chance to get LA Knight.
It's on LA.
Yeah.
Leave that fool to me. Don't touch him.
He said don't touch him. That mean Roman gonna take care of business?
Just me coming on through here with my Walmart watch and my Walmart bag, but I think I just overheard. Did I just overhear somebody say, leave him alone? Watch out. You don't want your daddy to come back and put you over his knee, do you? Boys, I'm out of here.
Oh,
I'll see you all next week. Y'all have fun, okay? You be good. I'll see you guys. Yeah.
that's wild. I do really like LA Knight. It's unfortunate, some of the things that's happened with LA, and obviously he's not beating Roman. But
Nikki Bella clobbered Paige. Come on, Nikki.
yeah, it is really sad that what happened with Brie as well. Was that torn? She broke her scapula? Is that what I heard? You don't like LA? I go back and forth. Like I think he does rely too much on, you know, his tried and true, with everybody saying, slappy back to factory settings. Like he has his catchphrases and his sayings that I think he defaults to too much. And he does have quite the unfortunate string of botches. However, I am, you know, I still like to see LA Knight. I still like to see him succeed.
I know, Byron. Thanks for noticing. New jacket.
Yeah, new jacket. Anyway, I wanted to ask you a follow-up question to a statement you made recently about wanting to focus on recapturing the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Can you expound on that?
Yeah, I can expand. Byron, I created that title. It was made for me, by me, and I'm always going to find my way back to it. Okay? But what we really need to talk about is poor soul Ruka. Oh. I mean, between us, I always knew she'd crash and burn eventually. She just doesn't have the grit. She doesn't have the mental strength that I mean, a fun fact for all you people out here. She actually lost the championship in the same building that I did. How poetic. Which brings me to the
You're not a Lyra fan either?
champion, Raquel Rodriguez.
Oh, she's calling out Raquel.
Raquel, I hope you're watching, and I hope you watched Saturday night's main event. I hope you saw what I did to Bailey. I brutalized her. She's gone. She's done. She's never coming back. And if I did that to a friend, what do you think I'd do to someone I don't even like?
Lyra,
Well,
thank you for your time.
Lyra makes her intentions clear. Yeah, so I think they failed to capitalize on Lyra. All we've really seen with her is interviews with Byron and main event. I think, you know, unless she just goes on to win the IC title, which she very well could do, which would be unfortunate for Raquel, who just won the title.
Hey, Rogue. Look at me, Jake. How many times we done been through this? We fought each other. We fought together. Think about all the times we fought in Oakland, Antioch, Sacramento, LA. I can forget everything, all right? I'm your brother. 10 toes down, I'm still rolling with you. We family.
Yeah, that's not a bad take.
You ain't my brother. You ain't my family. You just one of the boys. And I'm bloodline. So enough of this back and forth. Me versus you tonight in a street fight.
Oh.
I'll bet I dog walk your ass tonight.
I think we have our main event.
Hagen just threw down the gauntlet. Yeah, the relationship has been ripped apart between those two, and he said a street fight.
Royce Keys versus Jacob Fatu in a street fight? Sign me up.
That not you, Michael Cole? Yes, we are in the presence of greatness.
coming off her successful title defense. I guess we're about to find out what's next for Liv and for the Judgment Day. Does seem like Lyra's coming after Raquel. Yeah, I do think Jacob's a little bit too serious now. I do think we need to get back to that, you know, just a little bit of goofiness, a little bit of craziness, where, you know, guys like Roman, guys like the Usos have to reel him back in. It'd be interesting, too, if Solo does end up at some point joining the Bloodline, keeping his kind of like newfound silliness and how that whole dynamic would go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now in the presence of the greatest women's world champion
Of all. Yeah, I agree.
You guys already knew that, right? Because this past Saturday at SummerSlam, I defeated one of the best in the world. I defeated the genius of the sky, Io Sky. Oh, you guys are mad? You guys are mad? Well, you guys can stay mad. But I will give Io Sky props because
Gosh,
she has
her
been
eye.
the only woman brave enough in this division to challenge me. And now that I'm done with her, I don't see any challengers. Do you see any challengers? Do you see any challengers? No, I don't see any challengers. So do you guys know what that means? That means that I'm going to be the longest reigning women's world champion
Of all time.
But that's enough about me. That's enough about me because I want to take this moment to talk
Yeah, I
about
agree.
another
Raquel
member
makes
of
that title
the
look like a
Judgment
toy.
Day. My best friend, my sister, someone that I am so proud to call our new
Looks like she's wearing. She has a toy Intercontinental Championship. What does she have on her? Like barbed wire?
And of course,
That's kind of sick.
we could not have done it without our Roxanne. And speaking of my little prodigy, in just a couple minutes, Roxanne Perez is going to embarrass Sol Ruca and prove while the Judgment Day runs Monday Night Raw.
It'll be interesting to see how the Judgment Day dynamic continues with Roxanne being the only one without a title. You know, not counting JD and Dom, obviously, but as far as the females go.
Intercontinental champion Sol Ruca's got some scores to settle. He starts with Roxanne Perez next.
Yeah, I did too. And, you know, it could still potentially happen at some point. It hasn't, I haven't given up hope. It could be one of those teases that, you know, just they never capitalize on like they've done a few times in the past. Oh, Soul going right after Roxanne for the bell. You know, that could be something we never get paid off. However, I'm still holding out hope that will still happen. Maybe we get Roxanne versus Raquel potentially for the title, or even Roxanne versus Liv. for the world title.
Prodigy Roxanne Perez being jumped before the bell and still willing to compete. That's inspiring.
First time ever these two have gone one-on-one. Got a lot of things.
Yeah, Judgment Day. Roxanne not used to being cheap shotted.
And Ruka begging Perez to get back in the ring.
Are you waiting until Liv and Raquel get far enough away that they can't hear the blasphemy you spill?
Well, maybe.
Smart.
I'm begging Roxanne to get in the ring.
Soul's definitely gonna have her hands full here though. 3-on-1 essentially.
Roxy before the bell, but God forbid Roxy want to take a minute to recover.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. She lost the
In hot pursuit.
3-on-1 situation. Oh, and here's Perez. Off the distraction by Raquel and Liv. And now Roxanne Perez hammering away on Sol Ruka.
Roxanne reminding the world why she is the prodigy, always 2 steps ahead of the opposition.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Thanks, Axe. Yeah, if you're over on YouTube, consider hitting that subscribe button. We are trying to grow this pro wrestling community, and I appreciate everyone for being active in the chat as well. That helps. That helps me out. That helps the stream out. That helps us keep the conversation going. So I'm not just sitting here watching and just reacting to things. Obviously, that's a part of it, a part of what I do. But also, I like to have these conversations with everyone. I think I want to get to the point where I can't keep up with some of the conversations because, they're popping in so quickly. But until that happens, I can just, sit here and Liv has grabbed Corey's headset. But yeah, it helps keep the conversations going, and I like just hearing what everybody has to say about the shows and everybody's thoughts and opinions on what we're watching and the direction that WWE is going. But to answer your question, yes, I am live for Raw, SmackDown, and PLEs. Unfortunately, I've been a little inconsistent, I hate to admit, as of late with the Raw and SmackDown weeklies. But post SummerSlam, I am really going to try to be live every Monday night, every Friday night, and PLEs. PLEs are a lot more flexible because I can plan those well in advance and, ensure I don't have plans. Friday nights, sometimes there's things going on, even Monday nights at times, So yeah, I do stream every Monday Night Raw and every Friday night. If I am not going to be streaming, I usually throw something up on YouTube or X or Twitter to let people know that I won't be live that day. But
I don't find anything negative about that, Michael Cole. It is what it is. Roxanne has referred to herself as the prodigy for quite some time.
Perez with a right hand to Sol right in front of the announce desk.
and I have recently started trying to get into making more long form content because I don't want this to be just a streaming channel and just a reactions channel. I want to be able to have long form content, whether that be WWE 2K content or just talking head, videos about things going on within WWE, show reviews, PLE reviews. I've bounced around the idea of a podcast with one of me and my buddies. He's been on stream with me a couple times now. But yeah, I think I did post a poll over on YouTube as well. If you check my posts on what my current audience would like to see more of over on my channel as far as long form content. Yeah, I think SummerSlam was a good launch point for those that have been in and out. I do keep up with the weekly shows, even if I'm not live. I do keep up with Raw and SmackDown. NXT is one that I get a little bit behind on, and it's because one, I don't stream it, and two, I don't typically watch NXT live. So I try to keep up with it, but sometimes it gets it just falls through the cracks, and so I am a couple weeks behind on NXT, but I'm slowly working my way back. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Sol Ruka and Roxanne Perez both from an in-ring standpoint. I know Soul has had, a couple of unfortunate botches with like Soul Snatcher, which is a very difficult move to pull off in its own right. She has to be in perfect position. Her opponent has to be in perfect position. And so, but yeah, she's incredibly athletic, and I do think there are big things in store for her. Obviously, came in and won the Intercontinental Championship almost immediately. So I think WWE has big plans for her, and Triple H is very high on her. And same for Roxanne Perez. I do think Roxanne Perez is going to have her moment to shine too, whether that's in the IC title picture or, future world title picture. But yeah, very big fan of Roxanne and everything that she did whilst in NXT. She had that long reign as NXT Women's Champion. Yeah, I mean, it happens. Like, if you're keeping up with just WWE, you got Raw on Mondays, NXT on Tuesdays, and then, SmackDown's on Fridays. If there's a PLE, that'll be on a Saturday or Sunday. And that's just if you watch WWE. If you watch, AEW, you add, what is that, Wednesdays, and what other, I don't even know what other day their shows are, but if you watch TNA, that's Thursday night. So, like, you can literally watch wrestling every night of the week and still miss, a significant portion of shows. AAA on Saturday. So yeah, I try to keep up with as much as I can, but my primary, like, my bread and butter has always been WWE. That's what I've always watched growing up. I've watched AEW here and there, but it's just too much of a time commitment in the here and now. Yeah, I think we're very much looking at the future of the women's division in this match. I think this is a very clear picture of, what we can expect to see moving forward. Oh, you're from the UK as well, yeah. So that's definitely a commitment, for sure. Trying to keep up with everything while still getting sleep and having a life. But yeah, I kind of mentioned it in the past as far as, dipping my toes into other promotions and streaming other promotions. And it's just not something I can really commit to in the here and now based on current circumstances, work obligations, and just not having enough time to commit to that. I don't want to try to overcommit and be inconsistent when I'm not even streaming Raw every Monday or SmackDown every Friday. So until I can get consistent with WWE content and grow this to a point where I can commit significant amount of time to it and, see a return on that, I can only do so much. So yeah, I'm sure that's a very tough schedule to follow. So obviously I'm from the States, but I was in Paris actually on the night of WrestleMania 35 way back in 2019. And of course that started at I think it was 11 p.m. or midnight local time. And I stayed up that whole night to watch it while on this trip because our return flight home was the next day. And so I thought, I'll sleep on the plane. I'll just stay up. And I mean, that's back when WrestleManias were a single night. So you're talking, 5 or 6 hours. And I think Mania 19 or Mania 35, 2019 specifically, I'm pretty sure is one of, if not the longest WrestleManias. So yeah, I was up all night watching it and didn't get as much sleep on the plane as I thought I would. And then, jumping 5 or 6 time zones. So that was a brutal morning and following day.
Roxy realized Soul was going to get out of that submission. Rather than waiting for Soul to free herself completely, Roxanne changed positions and maintain control of this contest. And notice how she goes right back to the back.
Yeah, Roxanne has been in control for this whole break. But I do think Soul's going to get potentially one final comeback in. But I do think the numbers advantage will come into play here shortly. And I do think Roxanne is going to end up the victor here. I think that's where we're headed.
Women's World Champ Liv Morgan, Intercontinental Champion Raquel Rodriguez at ringside looking on.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It does mean a lot, and I don't want to turn this into something that I have to do. I genuinely enjoy doing this, and I've had conversations with my buddy who streams with me sometimes, and with my wife, and if it becomes something one day where I do see a return on it from a monetary standpoint, or just like that would be great. That would be fantastic. Obviously, being able to do something that you're passionate about, but just to do this for the love of it and for the passion of it, and for having conversations with people that I have never met and will never meet. Like that's awesome, and I'm glad I get to do it. Yeah, the numbers advantage. It hasn't shown it's hasn't reared its ugly head so far, but I think we're getting there, to say the least. I mean, unless they somehow get barred from ringside, I think a Roxanne win here is pretty inevitable. Unless someone comes out to even the odds.
Liv Morgan from the outside imploring Perez to get back up, get back into the fight. And now lifting Perez up on her shoulders. And you mentioned it, Ruka showing some power tonight.
Oh.
Takedown by Perez. Pinning combination here. Hooks the leg, and Ruka kicks it 2.5. And Ruka now into the cover.
Thought somebody was getting rolled up there.
Oh. Perez. Oh, Ruka out of the way. I don't think she connected there. May have been a glancing shot, but Roxanne looking for pop rocks.
Oh. Roxanne taking a hard landing. Yeah, I appreciate that for real. I mean, honestly, just tuning into the streams and keeping conversations up. The more the merrier. Oh, there we go. Oh, the officials saw it, though. Jessica Carr. Not allowing the Judgment Day to get away with it, but now the numbers advantage is just too much. Pop rock the Soul. And she is unfortunately stuck in a 3-on-1. And she's going to take a Tahana bomb for her trouble. And the Judgment Day standing tall over Soul. Or maybe not. Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is here. The man has come around. And you got to think he has eyes on Liv Morgan. And on that women's world title. Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I was like, oh, Judgment Day is just standing tall. I was ready to move on to the next thing, but we haven't seen Becky since. It's been a long time.
The man has come around to Des Moines! Oh, you think I came for that? I already made that title famous. Honey, my work there is done.
Yep. She knows what title she's after.
I came for you, sweet cheeks. make sure it's not another 100 days before you defend that title again.
Oh.
Because I've watched you prance around here like you've actually done something since WrestleMania, but all you've done is become a glorified valet.
Oh. Becky with the heat.
The women's champion should be fighting, not just flirting. And you have had the worst title reign of all time.
Oh. Wow.
It's not just me saying it. Everybody's saying it.
Yeah, Becky is back. Yeah, we just forgot about Soul.
But unfortunately for you, things are about to get a whole lot worse.
Very, 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 very typical, Becky. I'm not surprised. Do you know what you should actually be doing right now? You should be at home, being a mommy to your daughter. But you're not. You're not. Instead, you're in my face, which is actually pathetic. And do you know why you're in my face, Becky? Because you're jealous of me. Yeah.
I mean, careful, she's gonna give her another black eye.
Time is over and my time is now.
Woo.
You're jealous because I am the greatest women's world champion of all time. Bye. Bye, Becky. Bye.
Oh.
Sorry, you're not even the greatest women's champion in your own group.
Oh.
Hell, you're not even the greatest women's champion that slept with Dominic Mysterio.
Huh? Oh, snap.
I did not. Is it?
Stephanie's back too.
She's back. La Primera, Stephanie McCurr. We haven't seen her since WrestleMania.
Liv has suddenly got her hands full.
It looks like La Primera wants
Stephanie
from her.
and Becky are both here on Raw.
Liv trying to scurry away. And McCurr now.
What is going on?
Lynch looks on. Stephanie McCurr returning with a vengeance. McCurr taking out all the Judgment Day. And she's not done yet. Liv Morgan retreats.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, 6-1 tag next week. Book it. Oh. Oh. I think they're both after the same thing. Well, tensions are rising in the women's world title division.
Stephanie McCurr just said to Becky Lynch, "Stay out of my way," to which Lynch replied, "Or what?"
Number one contenders match.
Well, still to come tonight in our main
Well, what a
from Des Moines.
what an ending to that match.
Brothers considered family. That relationship
Yeah, I do think we're gonna get to the 6-woman tag.
must be settled tonight between the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu and Royce Keys.
They've definitely switched the graphics up a little bit for Raw.
what we just saw moments ago. Liv Morgan has some problems now.
Yeah, so much for Liv not having any challengers lined up. That's been taken care of.
But that time could be running out. Hey, as we saw earlier tonight, Hell in a Cell from SummerSlam Saturday did not disappoint.
It's the baddest son of a bitch that ever walked the face of the planet. The single moment that I realized Brock Lesnar would be the next big thing, the very first moment I ever laid eyes on Brock.
Yeah, I would say never with Brock. I do think if this isn't it, I think he'll be gone for a while.
He's a movie character.
Possibly till at least Saudi Mania.
There was such a mystique around him. There was just a different aura around Brock. He could have played it safe and maybe stayed here, but he saw more in himself. The guy comes over from the WWE and actually becomes the heavyweight champion of the world. It's impossible to do.
It is weird though they're giving him like a tribute. Yeah, I tend to agree with the Undertaker's sentiment. That's kind of what it felt like at Mania. Like that was supposed to be it, but either Brock wasn't satisfied with it, or he saw an opportunity and took it.
The streak is done.
He's probably the most outstanding athlete I've ever seen.
The most decorated combat sports athlete of all time.
A lot of people paid a lot of money to see Brock kick the shit out of me.
Yeah, which I don't know. Like I felt that he did.
To Brock, in the ring, in the cage, everything you've done, you're the best.
I've watched him from the day he walked in the door all the way to now, and it's been incredible.
The feeling that he brought to the ring, Brock's one of the best ever. You have incredible talent, my friend, and nobody will compare you.
When he's gone, the world will realize what we've got.
It's just effortless. This is better than everybody else.
I mean, I really appreciated that Mania moment, but because it did feel.
All time. No one's ever done it like him.
I mean, it was very heartfelt and very emotional, and
It was an absolute pleasure, bro. Have fun in the
yeah. Heyman and Oba.
Paul, sir, you know, I never got to say thank you to Brock for all the things he said about me and to me. So when you see him, tell him I said thank you.
That would be a pleasure, sir. And Oba, congratulations.
The ruler is
We're gonna get the ruler.
next.
The ruler. There were rumors on social about Heyman being by the side of Oba. You know, when Oba was approaching Heyman just then, for a brief moment, I was like, does this mean that Heyman and Oba Guess who's on this break? What do we think? Do we think WWE's overdoing it with Danhausen? I quite like Danhausen. I like some goofiness to you know, not take it so seriously all the time. I do think Dom, unfortunately, has been wrapped up in this.
I gave away a little bit of it, so I don't quite have all of it. But who cares? Because I'm rich. All right. Speaking of which, I'm in a good mood. Who would like some human money?
The audacity of Danhausen. It's even fun about that. Yeah, yeah. Like if you look at it through a lens of our truth, then
Don't worry, I've got some for you.
like we're fine.
Oh, go nuts. It's in the spokes. It's everywhere. Who cares? I'm giving it away. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, but it's funny that Danhausen wouldn't give the money back to Judgment Day, but is content with just throwing it to the crowd.
All right. Oh, we got more.
When I'm pretty sure it was his idea in the beginning to have the match in the first place.
Who needs the human money? Woo! Yes. Wow, I'm great. Oh. All right. Who's over here needs it? Yes. Oh, children need the human money.
That's what this whole segment is just throwing the money to the crowd.
Love that, Danhausen. Get all the human monies because if you don't, you are cursed. Oh my God.
That's his cue to disappear.
Did my stream cut out? It looks like we might have dropped on Twitch, but it looks like we're back. Yo, Runner Hunt's official. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for joining. Yeah, it does look like we cut out there on Twitch for a brief moment, but I think we're back now. Let me double check. Make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. What we were talking about.
Now we've entered the era of world domination.
Yeah, we were talking about the whole Danhausen thing. Like, I think he's funny. I think it's a nice break from, you know, trying to take everything so seriously. I think there's you know, room for both. I think wrestling is for everybody and should have something for everyone. I mean, there's people who love Danhausen. There's people who hate Danhausen. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the ruler. Oba Benny. You gotta do it. I know everybody's doing it at home. Look, he's doing it. Kid got a little too much energy for me. Grown man's doing it. Yeah, like I'll be just, you know, walking through the house and Oba's theme hits out of nowhere, and you can't hear the theme and not do it. I tried to do that with the lights off one day, and you couldn't see anything, so it didn't quite have the same effect as it does with Oba. I'm also not 6 foot, whatever, 300 pounds, so that also comes into play. But yeah, we're about to find out what is next with the ruler. We found out what seemingly is next for Roman Reigns. What a Monday Night Raw so far, chat. I think this has been one of the better Raws of the year. 2 massive returns. 3, I guess 3 technically massive returns. One of them we knew about.
Cannot even describe the things that transpired on night 1 of SummerSlam. Me and Lesnar went to war in Hell in a Cell, and we came out the other side with scars
Exactly.
and bruises, a winner, a loser, but most importantly, we came out with newfound respect for one another. It must have been my ignorance. I thought that Brock knew that I was the one when I put him away at WrestleMania. That is why when he came back and made my life miserable for weeks, I thought it was an action born out of evil or envy or jealousy. But now, with wisdom and hindsight, I realize that it was all a test. He needed to come back and find out if he chose right. The question going into WrestleMania was, can Obafemi swim? That question was answered very, very quickly, wasn't it?
It was indeed.
But then going into SummerSlam, the question changed. It went from, can you swim, to how long can you hold your breath? And that's what Brock did. I went into the cage with one of the most dangerous and most decorated combat athletes of our generation. I went blow for blow with him. He took me to the deepest depth of the ocean and he held me there. And guess what? I swam up, I emerged victorious, and I passed the test. And now, the beast can finally rest.
Yes, sir. He did do that.
But now my destiny seems clearer than ever. But oftentimes when the path is clear, that is when men miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no correct path. We forge our own destiny. So with this torch that has been passed on to me, I will forge my own way and lead a new generation, a new crop of talent. And with all that, the old guard will fall. And if any man has a problem with me, if any man has a problem with the one who holds the torch, you will answer to the ruler. You will answer to the destroyer. You will answer to the bringer of war. You will answer to Obafemi.
Some strong words from Oba, vowing to lead the new generation. And if I'm a member of the old guard, I'm not I'm not having any issues with Oba. The stream was a bit delayed, by the way, but it's gotten way better now. Yeah, I don't know. I think there for a second my internet must have clipped out or something, because I think we went dark on Twitch there for a moment. But I hope everything is back up and running. Yeah, I didn't think it needed to be in Hell in a Cell either. I do think the cell could have been utilized more than it was. I think it was just there. I mean, it was almost like a glorified prop. Like, it was just the shock factor of it all. Huh. Here's the Vision. Slightly interrupting Oba. Braun might have an opinion on who is leading the next generation, as he stares Oba down on his way to the ring. He's still staring him down.
You could feel the intensity between Femi and Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker, another young superstar who seems intent on leading WWE into the
Exactly.
Sign me up. Breaker's in action against Joe Hendry. Next.
Get that comment out of here. Genuinely, I thought, look, there's been several returns already. I kind of thought that's what we were getting when that music hit. I thought for some reason it was going to be Bronson coming out to the Vision's music and, you know, going face to face with Oba. But also, Jacob, thanks for stopping by. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Enjoy having all the conversations. Feel free to hop in and keep the conversation going. Yeah, Oba Braun is definitely happening, either for the title or on Oba's way to the title.
15 years. Friday Night SmackDown emanates live from Arena CDMX in Mexico City, Friday, September 11th, followed by Monday Night Raw at the same venue.
For everyone who's in the chat, do you think would you be interested in a Triple Mania stream? Potentially both nights. Would that be something that, of course, that's not until September, a little over a month and a half away, but would that be something that you would tune into? So are we getting Joe and... Oh, no problem, man. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate everybody, everybody that pops in, that gets involved, that you know, subscribes and follows over on Twitch. We are trying to hit affiliate status over on Twitch, so consider hitting that follow if you are over there, hitting subscribe if you're over on YouTube, as we are trying to grow this pro wrestling community. You all will be considered OGs at this point. Yeah, that's the thing with me too. Like, I am more likely to tune in if I'm streaming. Like with NXT, I go on about how I stay a couple weeks behind on NXT. I think not streaming it has a big part to it. The only AAA I've really seen is the Noche de los Grandes because of the mask versus mask, all the hype surrounding that match, which one of the best matches of the year for sure. But even that, I watched it very late that night because I didn't stream it. But I mean, the way they've been advertising Triple Mania is not unlike how they've been advertising Noche de los Grandes, maybe even more so. So I'd be very willing to stream that event. But I feel like Braun's about to destroy Joe Hendry here. But I feel like Joe's about to get destroyed.
Keep your eyes on the monitor, Cole. I know it's tough. But she's off the market.
Joe's in trouble. Joe.
Is Breaker okay? Hendry begging Breaker to get into this match.
Oh my.
He is in a mood tonight, and I'm not quite sure what.
Joe, you gotta get out of there.
I mean, I can tell you exactly what set him off, Cole. Face to face with Obafemi. Obafemi declaring himself to be the leader of the new generation. That was once a title bestowed upon Braun Breaker.
Oh! Theory getting a little too close to the action. Oh! Joe avoids disaster.
Breaker was looking to cut Hendry in half with a spear.
And there goes Theory.
I'll just be making sure Maxine's okay.
Oh my!
God, just like
Oh my!
with the wind.
And there goes Joe. Breaker is not messing around tonight.
He was the top young gun, and obviously, to Corey's point, Braun Breaker took some offense to that. And boy, oh boy, he about.
Oh boy.
You want to lead the new generation? What better way to show it than by example? Braun Breaker just cut Joe Hendry in half. You gotta wonder
Well,
where Braun's head's at. The guy's not wrapped too tight on a good day. Well, meanwhile, Austin Theory into the ring now, and he's attacking Joe Hendry after.
yeah, now Theory gonna pick the bones.
Theory was just humiliated in front of his woman. And look at Theory now, just pounding away on Hendry.
Yeah, once Tozawa now getting involved. Yeah, once I saw that look in Breaker's eyes, it was over. Oh yeah, you mentioned Undertaker being over creative in AAA. That's what I heard, and I've heard it's been great. That they're doing great things down in AAA. It's just another thing of like not knowing how much time I can commit outside of trying to keep up with all things WWE.
Of the Alpha Academy. Tozawa hasn't forgotten what happened to his buddy Otis last week at the hands of the Vision. Well, this is what happened to our announce desk thanks to Joe Hendry sending Austin Theory over here, but Braun Breaker, my God. Again, this is a guy we call the unpredictable badass when he's feeling himself, when he's normal. After that encounter with Obafemi, something broke in Breaker's brain. Well, also earlier tonight,
Yeah, it took. I mean, Joe was a little distracted on the outside with Theory. Breaker tries to go around and get and spear Joe into the steps. Joe jumps out of the way, takes care of Theory by throwing him through the table, but then gets back in the ring and just absolutely eats a spear for the 1, 2, 3. I mean, Breaker literally destroyed him, broke him. There was some vengeance behind that spear. And the short's about to go up as we speak. If you missed the replay.
Guys, thanks so much. Please welcome Raw's newest addition, Big Cass.
Oh. Yeah, he's way up there.
First off, welcome back to Monday Night Raw. We all knew that you'd be making your debut tonight, but I don't think any of us expected that. Why Javon?
8 years. I was left for dead in the dirt. 8 years. It took me to get back here from rock bottom. Javon Evans, nothing personal, bro. You were just in the way. Make no mistake about it. I am here to stack bodies.
Whew.
You were just the first. You surely won't be the last.
Oh, wow. Big Cass making his intentions clear. All right, Jacob. Enjoy your night, and hopefully work goes well. And thanks for stopping by once again. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody for popping in, keeping the conversation going. Yeah, Braun looked like he didn't need the numbers game there. But I mean, yeah, Theory still got involved.
Ethan, before we witnessed the return of Big Cass, we witnessed you go one-on-one with Javon Evans earlier on tonight. Can you talk us through what went wrong during that match?
Don't you think you should be asking Javon that question? What went wrong? I would love to know how Javon is doing.
Yeah, he definitely could. And
Ethan Page, it looks like he may have won the battle, but Ethan Page won the war.
it almost looked like he was going to. But they still had the spot with Theory getting involved on the outside.
Big Cass, and I truly enjoyed the show.
Well, Ethan, I was hoping you would actually explain why you feel you lost to Javon Evans.
Let me get this straight, Byron. We're live right now. Everybody's watching All Ego talk to you.
Well, those who aren't in commercial break.
You want me to explain my game plan to the entire locker room, these basic civilians, everyone watching Monday Night Raw? You want me to tell everyone Ethan Page's plans, how I operate, why I do what I do? No, thank you. I'm not going to give you that satisfaction, and I'm not going to give a leg up to the competition, especially the Intercontinental Champion and everyone looking at that championship. Because Byron, one thing I will tell you in this interview is I have no plans to stop chasing gold in WWE, specifically the Intercontinental Championship. And I'm going to make a promise to you, and I'm going to make a promise.
Yeah, he's going to be in that IC picture for some time.
Especially you, little kid. All Ego Ethan Page will most definitely capture gold on Monday Night Raw, and I plan on becoming Intercontinental
champion. Trust me.
Ethan, thank you. Michael Cole.
What we think? Do we think Ethan Page is a future Intercontinental Champion? Obviously, Chad Gable is going to have some, I would think, fantastic matchups in WWE. He might even go down to AAA for a couple title defenses as well with some of the luchadors. I would not be surprised. Gosh, that spear was brutal. Speaking of Gable, that's still an incredible stat that Gable had never won a singles title up until that moment.
Minnesota, I'm coming home.
Gable and Penta for the Intercontinental Gold. Penta will do anything he needs to do to retain the championship. Mexican Destroyer.
I'm taking that Intercontinental title as the man I was always supposed to be.
Gable's done it. Gable's done it.
Ethan Page is becoming a champ of some sort. Definitely not this year. Yeah, I think they're definitely going to give Gable some time to breathe with this title. I mean, they gave Penta, basically all of summer. I think Gable could hold this till at least, the Rumble. Maybe even, I don't know if he holds it all the way to summer, not all the way to WrestleMania, but I think we're going to get a significant title reign out of Gable. They try to get this going, and I don't think this theme is it.
What an emotional lead up to SummerSlam Sunday for Chad Gable, with all the pressure on his shoulders in front of his hometown fans and family and friends. Chad Gable, Corey, finally won a singles championship.
Gable, I don't know, it's kind of growing on me a little bit.
Pressure all of the years, the journey made a diamond, making his entrance for the very first time as a singles champion. Trust me, Cole, the emotion didn't end before SummerSlam. Even after the match, we had.
I think they're trying to over rely on keeping or like having the fans involved for themes. Like, I feel like a lot of it happens organically, like singing their songs, and then like the whole thing with Seth. Fully deserved. Completely agree. Deserved.
Now, last night was the single greatest moment of my career. And since then, everyone I've talked to is saying the same thing you guys were just saying right now, that I deserve it. Now, I'm not a guy that's ever said I deserve anything. I try to earn everything I get. But I made sure and thanked every one of those people. And I've got a couple more people to thank tonight. And the first person I want to thank
Completely
is Penta.
agree.
I want to thank Penta for being the epitome of a fighting champion and continuing to cement his legacy as potentially the greatest luchador in the history of this business.
Yeah, the reign of Penta needs to be
Most importantly,
acknowledged
I'm
for
here tonight
sure.
to
Penta
make
needs
sure
his
I
flowers.
thank all of you. I want to thank you for sticking with me for 10 years. And yes, it it's been that long. For sticking with me every time I came this close, but it didn't happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't believe he
For
hadn't
sticking with me
won it up until this point.
when I was Shorty G.
Never forget Shorty
And
G.
for believing in me when I made a promise that I was going to overcome every bit of it and become a singles champion in this company. I tell my kids every day, and I'm telling you right now, when you make a promise to yourself, you better bust your ass until you deliver on that promise. And I'm standing here.
What do you do with this channel?
Through a river of crap and came out clean on the other side, but I delivered on my promise. And I am proud to be your Intercontinental Champion.
Uh-oh. Be interesting to see if he's here to run it back or if he's here to congratulate Penta. Penta's here. Seemingly interrupting Gable.
The man who held
Not sure what his motives are.
the championship for north of 150 days. A fighting, spectacular champion.
He might want to run it back.
And then the show of respect last night after he lost the gold.
Ooh, heel Penta?
There's no shame
Surely we would have got that at Mania if we were going to get it, though.
by the better man. And that is simply what happened to Penta last night.
I mean, his family was there and everything, so if they wanted to get heat on Penta,
Chad Gable eager to give Penta his flowers for an incredible reign as Intercontinental Champion, a proud fighting champion.
Chad, first of all, you deserve this beautiful title, man. Chad, last night we stole the show. And tonight, I give you your flowers. Okay?
Penta's giving him his flowers, he said.
I know you make a mistakes, but no matter what, because you change. And thank you for that, Chad. And now you have their respect. And you know what? Now you have my respect. Chad, this is very simple. You are a true luchador. Chad, you are one of the best wrestlers.
Oh no, is Penta going to turn? Okay, no. But it's Dom Mysterio. And JD.
Whoa. And over this soppy crap.
What is this garbage I'm hearing about Chad being a real luchador? Yo soy el rey de los luchadores. I am the AAA Mega Campeón. And I am the greatest Mysterio
Yeah,
of
dude.
all time.
He pulled out a live just then. That Rey Mysterio, the greatest Mysterio line.
Help me out with this, Dom. Tell me this. Why would any single one of these Des Moines ditch pigs cheer for any of these guys?
Des Moines Ditch Pigs is crazy.
Best match of your life has come and it's gone. And it wasn't even last night. It was when a better wrestler than you whipped your ass, took your mask, and you lost the right
to call yourself a luchador?
Ooh. Dom didn't. He just lose to Danhausen?
Penta, you just lost to him. So what does that make you?
No one gonna mention that Dom just lost to Danhausen?
Escúchenme, par de enanos.
Are we wiping that from memory? Yeah, everyone's dressed up. Everyone's in gear.
Title worn for me. Because at the end of the day, the Judgment Day is going around collecting all of the gold. And we can end your little journey at any time because we're done playing around.
Anytime, Dom? Anytime?
I smell a tag team match.
Well, I think right here, right now, in Des Moines sounds pretty great. How about that?
El Rey accepts.
Yes? We want the ref here, right now. ¿Y sabes por qué? Porque yo
Soy Penta es cero miedo.
Penta is fearless. The challenge has
Here we
been
go.
issued. Here comes a ref. We got a
Eddie Arango. We got a tag team match. You called it.
Why are we fighting? Start the
Chat, have you seen Unreal? Has everyone seen Unreal? Because I have not. I may be the only one. I'm in this weird spot where I haven't seen the first 2 seasons, admittedly.
The next big thing.
And so do I start at season 3 with all the hype surrounding it, or do I need to go back and watch everything that led up to season 3?
I think we gotta pull the trigger on somebody.
We have so many great new people.
Yeah, Penta was over as soon as he got here.
Literally, the last thing you'd want for your dancing partner in the ring is to get hurt. Oh, I mean,
Okay, I wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one. It's like I am not intentionally not watching it. I just haven't seen it.
You quit.
What's it say about me?
Breaker lands on the back of his neck.
Yeah, that was a nasty fall from Breaker.
Real things happen.
it might not seem like a big deal, but everything's just so much better when she's there. What we do is violent. I'm disappointed in myself.
Honestly, I may just hop in, you know, at the current season and then go back and watch some of the others.
know the work that I had to put in.
This has consumed me for 23 years.
I needed to change things for everyone.
I don't know though, because I'm a chronological person. Like, I'm
This is a moment they're gonna replay.
I'm sorry, it was such a minute. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's kind of where I'm at with NXT. Is I'm a, I don't know if you would say completionist or just the way my brain works. I can't just pick up on NXT tomorrow.
We have this tag team
I have to go and watch the couple episodes that I have missed.
Continental champion and the former champ Penta teaming up
And like, and that's what keeps me going with Raw and SmackDown. Is even when I don't stream, I don't miss an episode
Penta referred to
because
as a real
in my
luchador.
and I know everybody's different, right? Like, you can go a whole month without watching and pick back up. And sometimes you don't, like, you wouldn't miss a whole lot. Obviously, you know, in a build up to a big pay-per-view like SummerSlam, you're going to miss quite a bit. But I just can't go, I just can't go out of order. I have to be sequential. I say all that to say, if I'm going to watch Unreal, I have to watch season 1 and 2 before season 3.
He has not forgotten that moment, and he would love at one point to have his title back. Well, in the meantime, El Rey de los Luchadores is very, very proudly representing a throw, cover by Gable, and a kick out. Triple A.
Yeah, I feel like Donna has really had a fall from grace as of late, at least in WWE. I'm not sure I mean, he's the AAA mega champion, so I'm assuming he's still doing a lot down in AAA. But yeah, in WWE, he's quite fallen off.
Chad Gable was on top of the world. Tonight he's got to get back to work.
Oh.
Penta delivers a drop kick. If anything, I think it's given Chad Gable a bit of clarity. What a throw by Gable into
I mean, Raw has just been. I feel like it's been going by fairly quickly. Like, there's been so much happening.
Gable was able to cover by Penta. Dominic kicks out. Get the monkey off of his back for years and years and years.
Yeah, like just playing catch up. I get that completely because you don't want to miss the big shows.
But now's the tough part. Correct. Holding on to it.
Oh.
Penta taking out Dominic.
But I mean, that's fairly common. Like, you have people who they won't watch weekly shows at all, and they'll just watch the PLEs. Granted, I think they've done so much now with video packages and build-ups. I mean, you get between a 3-hour SummerSlam Saturday and Sunday countdown shows. Like, if that's all you watch, you know, supplemented with YouTube highlights or, you know, streams like this occasionally, you can more or less stay caught up. I have to be glued in. I have to be glued in. And especially now that I stream. I think streaming gives me more of an incentive to keep up. At least with Raw and SmackDown. I cannot tell you what's happened in NXT the last couple weeks. I don't watch AEW. I don't watch AAA. I don't watch TNA. Yeah, we were talking about that on stream Saturday and Sunday, which appreciate all the new chatters and all the new viewers. Sometimes there are breaks in the chatting and the conversations, and when those are going on at the same time that a commercial break is happening, yeah, the pauses are pretty brutal, and it really goes to show how long the breaks truly are. Like, I got up and used the restroom during the breaks. That's usually what my plans have been during PLEs, because some of those breaks are just long. I mean, it's fine if we have the conversations going, but if it's just dead air and me rambling about, you know, what we just saw or what's coming up, then yeah, the breaks definitely feel long. Yeah, so we got this tag team matchup and then the street fight main event still to come. I mean, and we're already past the second hour, so I'm assuming that's all we got left. As Gable and Penta have taken full control here. Angle slam to Dom. He has to kick it too. Yeah, and then they'll be like they'll have a match, right? And then they'll have a break. And then they'll go to like a segment that's not even a match. And then back into another break before the next match. It's like, weren't we just on a break? Speaking of. Yeah. Street fight main event out of nowhere. Royce Keys and Jacob Fatu. What a main event for the SummerSlam after Raw. Look, I'm still here. Energy's still here. But yeah, the Raw after SummerSlam. I think it's delivered. I think it's been a solid episode of Monday Night Raw. Was Dom doing the Oba strut just then?
Enjoying the fruits of his labor.
What was that from Dom?
You know, Cole, with all the gold currently floating around in the Judgment Day locker room, what about if JD McDonough is able to pin Chad Gable tonight? That should put JD right at the top of the list for Intercontinental title opportunity.
Yeah, I was about to say, as much as we can appreciate Dom for, you know, his name and really his ability in ring, JD, I think, is another one of those guys that very underrated talent in the ring. Would love to see him and Gable for the title. Roman's gonna kill Jacob if he doesn't win. Yeah. If you're Jacob Fatu, especially after the conversation with Roman and the match at SummerSlam, this is a must win if you are Jacob Fatu. And maybe with it being a street fight, yeah, I was just about to say. Maybe. Excuse me. Maybe with it being a street fight, the bloodline will ensure that Jacob gets the win and that Royce is taken care of. We might see Solo Sikoa. We might see LA Knight. We might get more of what we had at SummerSlam.
World-class amateur wrestling by the king of the luchadors. Gable trying to muscle Dom back.
Yeah, I think one of my biggest reactions of SummerSlam may have been LA Knight picking up that pinfall just because it was so unexpected. And I mean, I'm not the biggest LA Knight fan, but I'm also not an LA Knight hater. And yeah, I popped when he got that pinfall because I was not expecting it. Granted, it was with help from Solo. I mean, we had just talked about LA Knight potentially taking the pinfall in that match. I think that's what me and my buddy Ryan that was joining me on Saturday. That's what we predicted. By the end of the match, we're like, it feels like LA Knight might be taking the pin here.
The Intercontinental Champion Chad Gable trying to fight back in this tag match. His partner's Penta. He's taking on JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio of the Judgment Day. Beautiful moonsault. Covered by McDonough.
See, like, I feel like JD's just very underrated. His in-ring ability. Yeah, I know we like to make fun of JD. Like, he does have a big head. And you know, with everything that's happened with Danhausen and all the fun and games, and just not taking really these guys seriously at all. JD is he is excellent in ring. Former cruiserweight champion in his own right. Yeah, I do think there's room to improve on the mic for sure. I think the gimmicks, I think the catchphrases are overused, but I mean, if you looked at some of, I mean, if you remember a lot of Roman's early mic work, which I know LA Knight's been doing it for a few years, which Roman had at that point as well. They're kind of doing to LA Knight what they did to Roman, where they just like, you know, go out there and figure it out. And Roman was pretty bad on the mic for a long time. Penta driver. JD there to break it up. Yeah, Roman was bad on the mic. Like, it was bad for a while. And unlike LA Knight, Roman would just go out there and win and still be terrible on the mic. So it kind of seems like what they're doing with LA Knight is just like go out there and figure it out. And some nights the promos deliver, and some nights you're like, what is he even talking about? So I do think he still has time to grow and develop his mic work to match his ability in ring. Yeah, Gable's picked the ankle of Dom now. And if he sits down with it, Dom's in trouble. Oh, McDonough with the headbutt. Oh, is he gonna? Mexican Destroyer. Well, there goes JD. Dom's got the hammer.
He's got the hammer from the ring bell, and he's going to slip it in his boots. We've seen Dom do this before with Chad was hitting him in the 619. Here it comes, and Dom, Chad didn't allow it to happen.
Gable catches him though.
And now Chad realizing what Mysterio had in his boots.
And snags the hammer.
Eddie Arango admonishing Mysterio, but Gable got caught. And now Penta.
Oh!
Off the face.
Penta with the title.
Chaos.
I don't know if Gable knows anything about it.
How does that feel? Just
Gable and Penta with the win.
here tonight.
Penta went dirty and used the title.
Intercontinental Champion, Chad Gable.
Just when I started to believe that the curse of Danhausen had worn off for Dirty Dom and the
Slightly heelish move there from Penta, but you know, he was just even in the odds.
New Intercontinental Champion Chad Gable and his proud former champion partner Penta.
Isn't this like specifically a Minnesota Vikings thing?
On himself when he grabbed the hammer from the ring bell and tried to use it in the matchup. Hate it when you're right. Hey, it's been a great weekend at SummerSlam, the epic two-night event in Minnesota. SummerSlam Saturday featured the undisputed WWE Championship on the line between CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. The man who wants the
Yeah, here's a recap of the
Rhodes against the 8-time world champion CM Punk. They meet
undisputed title
WWE title.
main event.
Down deep. Who's gonna
Well, it wasn't the main event. We thought it was going to be the main event,
Cody Rhodes now going up the top.
but seemingly
And he took out the official
last minute plans changed,
Cody from behind. Crossroads.
which I've heard Brock Lesnar had a lot of sway in that decision. Obviously, the returning Randy Orton. I think that was my most viewed reaction from the weekend. Was Randy's return. The RKO to Cody out of nowhere.
Survives as the WWE champion.
Hey. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, I saw it.
Wait, who was Pierce talking to? Is
Obafemi tried to get in my way,
that Lyra?
I saw that.
and I'm going to do something about it.
I think you should.
I'm asking you. Where is Obafemi?
How would I know where Obafemi is?
You're right. I'm sorry. Thought that was your new best friend.
Oh. Yeah, I thought he was definitely implying that Obo and Brock and Heyman
That's going to turn bad real quick.
were working together.
Well, what we're about to witness.
It almost reminded me of the time where, was it Brock when he said, "Hey, Paul, why didn't you tell Roman I was showing up?"
And it's a street fight.
Introducing first, from Sacramento, California, weighing in at 291 pounds, Jacob.
This match is about to go crazy.
As close as brothers for over a decade, and it's come down to this. Jacob Fatu, Royce Keys, street fight, next on Netflix.
And it was completely like unexpected, edged out of nowhere. Not your typical Raw main event.
Royce earlier tonight, Corey. Jacob Fatu would have none of it.
Prepping food need to be quick. Yeah, I'm gonna have to grab something
The personal enforcer
after this. I didn't eat a whole lot before stream.
has forsaken
Time gets away from me between work and then going live.
this point mean nothing.
I feel like I'm scrambling.
Wakes up and competes in service of the OTC. And unfortunately, to keep Roman at the top of the mountain, sometimes you've got to step on a few old friends. Well, Jacob Fatu is in this situation because of what he did. He challenged the tribal chief on a couple of different occasions. The final loss meant that Jacob Fatu basically had, to your point, be Roman Reigns' enforcer going forward. Well, this was this past Saturday.
What are you
Six-man tag team match.
what are you prepping?
Of the Usos and Jacob Fatu against LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Royce Keys. And just when it seemed as though the Bloodline had complete control of the matchup, Solo would play spoiler to his older brothers Jimmy and Jay, which allowed the megastar to deliver blunt force trauma to main event Jey Uso and pick up a huge win for everyone in opposition of the Bloodline. And then earlier tonight,
Yeah, I fully was not expecting that result on SummerSlam Saturday.
Roman very upset with the Bloodline.
I was expecting
Take care of the LA Knight issue that they didn't
Bloodline to go over.
back into the fold.
I was expecting LA Knight to be the one to take the pin. Some fish and a buttery sauce. Sounds good though. Probably gonna have a little bit of pasta. I eat a lot of pasta.
The self-proclaimed monster
Probably too much.
walking with purpose. Keys did not want to be
It helps though. Like if you're on a bulk,
not tonight.
which
But Royce Keys
I mean, I'm not the biggest individual, so I'm always on a bulk.
will be involved in the
Um,
first ever street fight in
Not exactly built like either of these two gentlemen.
one in WWE.
Yeah, so pasta comes in handy. Cheap, easy, versatile. You can make all different kinds of sauces. It's easy. That Penta Destroyer was insane. Yeah, what about Nick Aldis this weekend? I mean, he and Gunther went to war. And I think he showed that he definitely has the in-ring capabilities. Which I know he's been reinstated, and I know that he's resuming his GM duties. But I hope he gets back in the ring at some point. Yeah, Aldis. I didn't think he was gonna win. I had no expectation of that, but it would have been nice. Obviously, you'd want him to beat Gunther.
Back here on Monday Night Raw, Jacob Fatu on the right, that man Royce Keys in a street fight where anything goes. You only win via pinfall or
Street fight, which is how we make it so the bloodline can get involved.
He said, "You choose this." Fatu said, "But we're here now." Never mind the past. The fact that these two once slept on one another's couches as aspiring wrestlers. The fact that Royce Keys used to get on a Greyhound bus and ride
All right, here we go, main event.
from Oakland,
Royce Keys going after Jacob Fatu in the early going.
Fatu was.
But yeah, street fight rules, so you got to think
Hall of Famer Rikishi and the great
Bloodline.
these two's bond is
Bloodline's coming in.
but it's all been forsaken for the here and the now.
How long do you have?
Each other's
Like time-wise? Main events, it started.
These two men had one dream.
I'll go ahead and say for everybody that's tuning in, one final plug. If you are new over on Twitch, considering that follow button, your name will pop up, I believe, somewhere over here on screen. And I will give you a nice little shout out. Very much appreciate all the support over on Twitch as we try to reach affiliate status. You can see our count over here on screen. And same with YouTube. If you are new, consider hitting that subscribe button. We are on the road to, I haven't set a hard goal, but I would say 1,500 is probably the next milestone that I would aim for. So considering subscribe, considering like on the stream, and keeping the conversation going for this main event. Jacob Fatu, Royce Keys street fight here to close out Raw. A solid Monday Night Raw post SummerSlam. Yeah, 3 returns. The one advertised. Big Cass returning in a big way. Yeah. Big Cass returning the way that he did. And then Becky Lynch and Stephanie Vaquer both returning the night after SummerSlam. And who knows, maybe we're not done. We know Bloodline's coming out, but we don't know who else could potentially be showing up here tonight. Yeah, maybe Zilla. That was a name that was floated around this weekend that never materialized. Yeah, he says, I ain't got no choice. He's taking orders directly from the tribal chief. He better take care of business. Tomatonga. No, they're kind of doing their own thing over there on SmackDown now with Haku. Royce Keys back in control after that clothesline. Massive clothesline. Yeah, this version of Big Cass definitely does not need Enzo. Oh my! Through the barricade. Yeah, but getting back to earlier, I think if Cass came back and was like how Cass originally used to be in WWE, then yeah, he needs Enzo Amore by his side. But current Big Cass, which I believe he was a heel in AEW, correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, I don't really keep up much in AEW, but I know he was a heel there for a while in WWE as well. This version of Big Cass, yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with on his own. Doesn't need a mouthpiece. Yeah, Zilla's been floated around with the Bloodline for, gosh, years now at this point. Oh! Keys tumbling over the announce table. Yeah, so, okay, so that's how he was back in AEW. Then, yeah, I think, at least from what we've seen tonight, like, I think it works. It'll be interesting to see how they carry forward with it. Like, he's just a big guy who beats people up. You can't go wrong.
Loading up the ring with steel chairs. And one can only imagine what this madman is planning to do. And Cole, I'm looking in Royce Keys' eyes. He's watching this all unfold, and he almost looked helpless for a moment, realizing what Fatu's trying to do.
Big Cass versus Almas. Yeah. Of course, Almas is down in AAA, but we can definitely definitely make that work. There's been a lot of big men returning to WWE recently. Big Cass and Baron Corbin. The new U.S. champ. Did not expect that coming. Fully thought Trick was going to retain. Oh! We got Twitch and YouTube converging in the chat. You'll love to see it.
You used the word a few minutes ago, Cole, survival. That's what this has devolved into in the past few minutes. Doing whatever you can.
Yeah, we gotta be getting into the deeper waters here, you would think. 2.5 hours into the show. It's typically where Raw, I feel like Raw floats right around that 2.5 hour mark. As the ring is now just littered with chairs everywhere.
How his demeanor changed. Again, we're finding out tonight who Royce Keys really is. What this man is truly capable of.
The crowd's chanting one more chair.
Jacob with a right, dropping Keys to the floor.
Yeah, Raw's interesting because it doesn't have like a set network time where it has to be off at this time like SmackDown does. So yeah, you never know. Sometimes it goes slightly past the second hour. Sometimes it goes, 2.5 plus. Oh! That kendo stick shot was insane. And now he's just breaking it over him. Woo!
Royce Keys now looking to set up a table. And this is what Jacob Fatu has driven this man to.
Yeah, Fatu looks to be in some trouble here.
Unfortunately for Jacob Fatu, he's finding out firsthand. Sometimes it's when you hurt the ones you love that it hurts you the worst back.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe I spoke too soon. Oh. Oh.
How can it get to this point that these two men are brutalizing each other like this? You think you can do this? Well, in Fatu's mind, his justification
Now it's Fatu. That's just. Oh my goodness. Destroying Royce Keys with that kendo stick.
Absolutely brutal. Fatu just torturing Keys.
Yeah, Fatu in complete control now.
As unhinged as they come.
No more breaks, you would think. You would think this is it.
What Jacob Fatu is attempting to construct right now. And the official Chad Patton is powerless to stop it. It's the bloodline. You should have stayed out of it. You should have.
Yeah, but I do think the 2.5 hours, I've said it before, I think that's a pretty sweet spot for a Raw or a SmackDown. I think. Oh! Oh my goodness, those chairs just collapsed. I think 2 hours is a 2 to 2.5 hours is a pretty sweet spot for a weekly show. Because especially SmackDowns, I thought 3 hours were getting. Oh. These chairs are proving to be a problem. Gosh, look at the back of Fatu from that kendo stick. I think 2 hours is a sweet spot. If I can finish this point before something else crazy pops off. I think 3 hours can be starting to get a little excessive. Depending on what's happening, right? Because SmackDown was 3 hours, but we were showing Raw recaps, tons of backstage stuff like
Oh, no.
2 to 2.5 hours of quality.
Keys go back to his feet.
Oh, he pressed O.
Into the face of Jacob.
He pressed circle, guys.
Forward ascent of Jacob Fatu.
um,
Royce Keys now joining
yeah,
the
like as a fan, you're gonna want
turnbuckle.
as much wrestling as you can get, right? But
Trashed with chairs.
oh,
Oh my God.
oh my,
Slam through the chairs.
on all the chairs.
The cover. Jacob somehow
I thought that was it. But yeah, like we were talking about earlier, the time commitment can be tough sometimes. I'm all for quality over quantity. So I'd rather have a 2-hour solid show than 3+ hours of a decent show. Like this Raw has been incredible, and we're pushing 2.5 hours. We're all over 2 hours at this one. Oh, here comes the table. Spinebuster. Yeah, the chairs have taken a beating.
And that switch just flipped, Cole. Royce Keys is tapped in.
Oh my!
That's gotta be it. That has to.
The pop-up Samoan drop through the table. And now the moonsault.
Fatu's not done yet.
And he's not done?
And now it's locked in.
Oh, the Tongan death grip, of course. And Keys.
The breath from Keys. Royce Keys fighting, trying to survive. But
He's
Keys
fading.
starting to fade. Eyes rolling back in his head. Fatu's got it locked in good.
He's out.
And the officials got
Yeah, that's it. Keys is out.
Keys is out. Keys is out.
Wow.
Tag get in there. Fatu will not
Fatu has unleashed
Jacob Fatu
on Royce Keys. And he's not letting go.
the life from Keys. Fatu like a man possessed right now.
He is sending a message.
Heading to the ring to
He had to do this. And this is what we we're talking about. We wanted to see from Fatu more of his viciousness.
something.
The unpredictability.
My God, how did it come to this?
Yeah, that was personal there at the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, Jacob Fatu.
Well, Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he's not done.
And now Fatu's not done yet. Get in there. Got it locked in again. Pierce, send somebody. Get some help. Get the damn cops out here. I told you.
This is brutal.
It's family business.
I told you it's family business. Yeah, if I'm a ref, I'm getting out of there. Let him do what he wants.
Oh, no. Come on now.
Oh,
Jacob Fatu is an absolute damn madman. Somebody stop Jacob.
oh.
Keys is bleeding from the mouth. Get the medics out here. Get some help.
Whew.
Keys could have internal injuries.
Oh
I don't
no.
think Jacob's done yet. Corey, Jacob Fatu didn't just want to win this match. He
Oh
wanted to
no.
finish that man's career. How can he do this to a man that was once his best friend? Do not do this. Calm down. I need you to calm down.
He's not gonna do it, sure. Oh my gosh, he's gonna do it.
Adam Pearce is pleading with Jacob Fatu. Thank you. Thank you. And
Oh my gosh.
look out! No, like this.
Oh my god.
Oh my God!
He's doing it again. Oh
Jesus,
my god.
somebody get the damn paramedics out here!
He just killed him. Oh my god. Well, we won't be seeing Royce Keys for a while. And now the man that certainly called the order in.
And a nod of approval from the tribal chief.
Yeah, I think he's the one that ordered that.
Just got
He sent him with a message.
as ever.
Take care of it.
Mission accomplished.
And Fatu did. And that's what we were talking about that we needed from Fatu. More of that vicious side. More of that ruthlessness. Oh, what's this? Roman and Ray?
I do now.
Let me run something by you.
Ray said he was going to run something by Roman regarding AAA. Huh. He didn't say. Raw went off the air. They walked to the back. Huh. Well, there leaves more questions. But that was Monday Night Raw. And I don't know about everyone tuning in, but I thought that was about as solid of a Raw as you could have following SummerSlam. Obviously, expectations are going to be high, but you won't have the Usos on the show or Jacob. Yeah, that's just something that we'll have to tune in and find out. But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw. I thought it was a pretty solid show following SummerSlam. We had some questions answered. We had some massive returns, especially Big Cass, making his presence known with Javon and Evans. And Becky Lynch and Stephanie Vaquer both letting Liv Morgan know that they're coming for that title. We had that incredible main event where Fatu ultimately ends up destroying Royce Keys. But yeah, LA Knight wants to come after Roman Reigns and that World Heavyweight title. Oba has declared himself, the future generation, and, the switching of the guard being led by him, which Braun Breaker had an issue with. And then Breaker takes his aggression out on Joe Hendry, absolutely destroys him. And then that solid tag team match before the main event, Gable and Penta knocking off the Judgment Day. Another solid match. I think that was just a solid Raw overall, top to bottom. Yeah, Jacob might have taken it a bit too far, but that's kind of what it is. When Roman Reigns issues the order, it's kind of, Fatu's gonna do what he wants to do. That's kind of what they were hinting at when Fatu first aligned himself with the Bloodline officially. That when Roman wants something done, Fatu's gonna make sure it gets done. And he's not taking orders from the Usos, but he takes orders from the Tribal Chief. But all right, guys, that is about it from me. I appreciate everyone for tuning in for Monday Night Raw. One last time, if you're new over on Twitch, thank you for stopping by and hopping in the chat. We are trying to reach affiliate status, so consider hitting that follow button. It would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, if you're over on YouTube, consider hitting that It's over here. Consider hitting that subscribe button as we're on the road to 1,500 subscribers. I very much appreciate all the support that's been shown from the SummerSlam streams to weekly streams to the shorts to long form content. Yeah, it's been a blast hanging out with you all, and we will be back this Friday for SummerSlam or for SmackDown, the SmackDown after SummerSlam, where we had the return of Randy Orton to follow up on, the return of Kevin Owens to follow up on. So plenty more to come this week, this Friday for SmackDown, and hopefully I will